How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Jose, aka TheNYCGeek, aka TNG, aka your Elden Lord. Even on a Monday, your Elden Lord. Actually, especially on a Monday, your Elden Lord. You probably need it to start the week, aka the guy who's hoping you had a great weekend. We're going to be trying something new with the channel. I want to see if instead of putting out multiple videos a week, which is admittedly very difficult for me with my 9-to-5 job and other demands on my time, but instead of recording a video for each topic, I want to discuss. I think it's better if I do, one where I touch on multiple topics, especially at the beginning of the week, since a lot of stuff tends to happen over the weekend. Topics that matter to me, and I hope that might matter to you if you're watching the channel. And of course, the biggest bit of news was San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, okay? There was a lot of major reveals. And I'm going to start off with probably the biggest panel there, which was the MCU. This was a big weekend for them. Not in terms of money. No, not in terms of money, because Thor and Love and Thunder just continues to disappoint with that disastrous and predicted, might I add, second box office drop that was nearly the highest in the MCU's history. I think it was like 68% or something like 67.8%, and the only other highest one was Black Widow at 68, but at that point you might as well just fucking round it up or whatever. If that movie even breaks even around 800 million, I would count it lucky. It should count itself lucky, and it does need to make that. Again, I tell people, you got it. You're looking. They're like, oh, it's made 600, like close to $600 million. That's nothing. First off, for a Thor movie, that should be way higher, especially riding off of Thor Ragnarok's success. But the fact that this movie cost $250 million and over 150 to market, that's 400 million times two. It needs to make at least 800 million just to break even, guys. You don't make Marvel movies to break even. And it should count itself lucky if it makes that. I think it'll drag itself there. We'll see. It might not. It might be a flop. And obviously, we're not talking big in case of Miss Marvel, which was also a huge failure. That show couldn't even gather half of the eyeballs that watched Hawkeye. Even with them trying to play on nostalgia at the end and make her suddenly the MCU's first confirmed mutant. But to Marvel Studios' credit, they did come out of Comic-Con with a slew of information. At least they did. At least they showed stuff as opposed to DC, which didn't show shit. That colossal shithead Kevin Feige came out and he showed footage and teased many of the projects that are coming out in the next few years in what is now being called the multiverse saga. So the Infinity Saga was phase 1, 2, 3. Phase 4, 5, 6 will be the multiverse saga. And because Marvel Studios has already done a terrible job at handling the concept of a multiverse, it's only going to get far worse, especially with some of the projects that they revealed for phase 5. Look, I had to actually watch the panel, like the reveal, a little bit on mute because the sounds of the consumers were beyond irritating. Or as Young Ripper calls them, the consumers. Okay, but they revealed phase 6. They revealed phase 5 and a brief glimpse into phase 6. Obviously, that's a little farther off into the future. Some of the movies and the shows that will populate those phases, since phase 4 is now coming to an end with the upcoming Wakanda Forever that's going to be released on November 11th, 2022. Wow. We went back to the past here, 2002. So what do they got lined up for phase 5? Honestly, a lot of shows that no one asked for and that people are not going to give any fucks about. And probably more characters for Marvel Studios to butcher. And I'm going to go through the lineup with you, okay? The lineup begins, I have it written down. The lineup begins with Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. Okay, Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania, that's going to be released on February 17, 2023. So next year. That will be the official first title in phase 5. So all of 2022 is going to be phase 4 or phase Bore, and phase 5 officially begins 2023 with Ant-Man and Wasp. And now look, I like Paul Rudd. I like him. I really like Evangeline Lilly. I like her a lot. I think they're good at their roles, and I loved Ant-Man in Civil War. I think a lot of people did. The problem is that those characters really aren't the big name draws like Iron Man and what one would have thought Thor would be. I think I think that they do the best they can with those characters who admittedly were not very big characters in the comics and even in the MCU aren't really that big. But I think it was smart. I do think it was smart for Marvel to put that film as the official start of Phase 5 because more people will go to see the start and the end of their phases. So I think that was a good move on Marvel. It's probably one of the few good moves they have because the next entry in Phase 5 is going to be the Secret Invasion show. That'll be coming to Disney Plus. You already know how I feel about the Disney Plus Marvel studio shows. That they've all either been disappointments, like WandaVision was, unfortunately, or been absolute garbage, like Miss Marvel and Hawkeye were. I'm sure they'll be ruining Nick Fury in this. I'm pretty sure about it. And there's other stuff that they're going to ruin too. At the timeline, next up is the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 5th, 2023. Those that don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is my absolute favorite MCU movie. Absolute favorite. I think it's the best. I mean, okay. If we count Spider-Man No Way Home, then Spider-Man No Way Home is my favorite. But if that's, again, like a Sony movie, I don't really give them the credit for that. But if we're just talking about like the MCU, Guardians of the Galaxy is number one. And then I think it's a pinnacle of the MCU. And I don't know how the new MCU will be able to still keep that magic going. I really don't. Out of all of Phase 5, this is one of only maybe 2 titles that I'm looking forward to. The other ones I'll talk about. It is in Phase 5. But I have the feeling that this movie is going to ruin the characters. I'm sure they'll shit on Star-Lord the whole time. I like Chris Pratt. I think he's a great actor. And I think he's a cool dude. I think a lot of people hate on him, unreasonably so. Even James Gunn and other people have come on and said, who the fuck are you guys? You guys don't know anything about this dude. Like, you listen to garbage on the internet. You don't know anything about this dude. So, we'll see. Next up is a series that no one asked for and no one will watch. I could tell you now that Miss Marvel's disastrous viewership numbers, which were so bad that she dropped out of like the 10th spot in watched shows. Like, she wasn't even pulling in half of Hawkeye's numbers. Okay. Miss Marvel's numbers are going to look great in comparison to the next show, which is Echo, which will come out in summer 23. That show comes out, it's going to be gone as quickly as a fart in the wind. It just, what the fuck? Who asked for an Echo show? And the fact that they greenlighted this show before Hawkeye had even fucking aired is just goes to show they have no idea what the fuck they don't even care what their audience is asking for, wants to see. After that is Loki season 2, summer 2023. I'm sure they'll keep making Loki look stupid as fuck, and he'll keep talking about, he'll keep telling characters how awesome Sylvie is. They'll find a way to knee him in the dick a few times too, because it's all about deconstructing him and making other characters look great. It's going to be a rehash of season 1 in terms of that. And then on July 28th comes out The Marvels. Whoa. Oh boy. All right. So they couldn't even give Brie Larson her own name sequel. They couldn't even give her that. Now she has to share the screen with the kiss of death that is the Kamala Khan character. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney spends an easy $200 million in marketing for this film to try to get people to watch it. And I'm telling you right now, if Thor Love and Thunder's budget was like $250, with the sheer amount of fucking CGI that they're going to have to do because of new Kamala Khan's abilities and Monica's abilities, I could see this being another 250, maybe 200, 250, so 450. So I wouldn't be surprised if this movie has to make 900 million to break even. I'm telling you. Anyway, after that is the second title that I am actually very much interested in. And that is Blade finally has an official release, November 3rd, 2023. Now, I know that Jose UK, my buddy Jose, is going crazy right now because he loves Blade, and I do too. I have talked about how important, how vital the Blade movies were to the superhero genre, okay? Wesley Snipes killed that role. If there were no Blade movies, there wouldn't have been the X-Men ones and all those that would have launched the MCU, okay? And to me, there was no one else who was going to ever be able to touch him in that role. To me, he's like Hugh Jackman Wolverine. But I will give Marvel Studios credit because they came with a powerhouse for this role. And I'm going to butcher the man's name, but Mahershala Ali, I hope I'd said it correctly or close to it, is easily one of the greatest fucking actors in Hollywood. This man is a treasure, okay? And if anyone could pull off Blade, or in my heart be able to not only fill Wesley Snipes' boots, but more importantly, make the role his own, it's Ali. It's Ali. If the writing and directing doesn't muck it up, this could easily be one of my favorite MCU films. Easily. And I have no problem giving credit where it's due. I think that if Disney gets its fucking hands out of here and lets a good, competent writer work on Blade, you don't need to spend a lot on crazy fucking CGI, and just tell the story of Blade. Just tell it of him. Make him a street level character. This is a thing. This is a thing, and it's especially important with Blade and a lot of other characters that they don't seem to get. Not everything needs to be a cosmic level fucking threat, please, okay? Just let Blade kick some vampire ass. Okay, let it. You could be a citywide threat. It's fine. You could be a city. You can even be a countrywide threat. That's fine too. Doesn't need to be something that's going to end the planet. Please, please, please. Just keep it low scale. Trust me, that is where Blade will work. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But to go from awesome to another character that nobody cares about, Ironheart. Ironheart will be coming to Disney Plus on fall 2023. The new Avengers that nobody has asked for, nobody cares about. Their comics have never sold, and they're trying to fill in the beloved spot of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man with Ironheart. Such a fucking bad idea, man. It didn't work in the comics, and it sure as fuck is not going to work on Disney Plus. So we've gotten what? Hold on. Let me go through it. We've gotten Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, February 17, 2023. We've had The Secret Invasion that's going to come out Disney Plus. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We've had Echo, Loki Season 2. We had The Marvels, and then Blade. So 7 projects so far in Phase 5. The 8th project after this was Ironheart. And then the 9th after this will be Agatha, Coven of Chaos, which will be winter 2023, 2024. And I just, you would think that they would be trying to get more eyeballs, you know, because when you, because this reveal was lackluster as fuck. And they only further irritated when they revealed that the 10th title is going to be Daredevil series coming out for spring 2024. Disney Plus, they're going to call it Daredevil Born Again. Okay. And go watch Hawkeye, and you can see how poorly they did Kingpin. Okay. They massacred that character. They made him an absolute buffoon. Gon is the mastermind who manipulated the CIA to engineer his own escape. Gon is the guy who went toe to toe with Daredevil. That Kingpin character was a rotten husk of what he was in the Netflix series. And you're kidding yourselves. You're kidding yourselves if you think that Disney Plus's Daredevil will be even fucking close to the masterpiece that was Netflix's Daredevil series. Because I've said it before, Daredevil is the best thing. So if I'm counting the Netflix series along with like Marvel and Spider-Man and the MCU, because they are part of the MCU, but you know how they do the TV shows back then, they were like their own thing, their own continuity. The Daredevil series is the best of the best of the best. Okay? Especially season 3. And there's no way Disney Plus has that fucking caliber of writing to it. And then they wrap up Phase 5 with 2 more projects. So there'll be 12 projects total with Captain America, New World Order, what a title, in May 3rd, 2024, as we've gotten Falcon demoted from being his own individual character to getting the hand-me-downs of the Shield. because, you know, he's no longer an original character. Now he's just a fucking variant. Not a variant. A fucking, here's sloppy seconds. We're not gonna continue the original character. We're giving you the sloppy seconds of Captain America. That'll be May 3rd, 2024. And the Thunderbolts in July 26, 2024. Thunderbolts, very interesting comic team. It's a team of like basically like evil Avengers. And they had for a while, one of my favorites series for a while was in Marvel. They had the Dark Reign comics, which was after, it was the aftermath of the Secret Invasion storyline. And in the comics, the Dark Reign, it was like 2000, I want to say it was like late 2000s, 2000 maybe 8, I think, or something like that. And it was like Norman Osborn is now in charge of the Avengers, and he is the new Iron Man. And then he gets a couple of other people, like he gets Venom to pretend like he's Spider-Man. He gets Daken, which is Wolverine's son. He gets him to be Wolverine. He gets Moonstone to be Captain Marvel. Like, he gets all these fucking cool characters, and they make these evil fucking Avengers. It was a great fucking story. Great. And they're not gonna do that here. That's not even fucking close. Not even close. And this wasn't all that Marvel Studios revealed at Comic-Con. Okay, it's not all. I will touch a little bit more on it in a second. But to touch on Phase 5, my thoughts have been very clear. Okay, I think this is going to be a very underwhelming, very lackluster, very disappointing phase for the MCU. Phase 4 has already been bad for them. It's already been bad. It's been full of mediocre films that barely break even, like Shang-Chi, or flops that cost them money, like Black Widow and the Eternals. Spider-Man No Way Home was the anomaly. And again, that was a Sony movie. It wasn't a Marvel film. It wasn't a Disney film. I mean, it was a Marvel film. It wasn't a Disney film. Disney only gets a quarter of those profits, guys. Okay? And add the Multiverse of Madness and Thor Love and Thunder to the disappointments. Phase 4 is a clear sign that the MCU has been losing steam. It's losing steam. It's stumbling. And now it's horrendous for Phase 5, because Phase 5, you needed fans of the MCU to be hyped, to be not fatigued. And instead, they're losing money, they're hemorrhaging viewers, and they have a lot of titles in Phase 5 that nobody asked for, nobody's going to fucking watch. So I don't know how well, I don't know if titles like, if Ant-Man or Blade, if they'll be able to cushion the blow. I really don't. And it sucks, because there are 1 or 2, 3 titles there that I would really actually like to see. But yeah, I don't think that they're going to be able to, it's going to be damper. They've dampened their own prospects with the shit storytelling that they've been doing. And they touched a little bit on Phase 6. They finally announced that Fantastic Four is going to be scheduled for November 8, 2024. So that's over 2 years from now. And the 2 movies that will end Phase 6 will be Avengers, the Kang Dynasty on May 5th, 2025, and Avengers Secret Wars on November 8th, 2024. I'm sure somewhere in there, those are the only 3 titles that they said for Phase 6, okay? That's it. So I'm sure somewhere in there, they will fit the X-Men, maybe as a Disney Plus show. It's probably the best way to do it. If they do it, I mean, they're going to ruin it. But I got to tell you, Kang is not Thanos. He's not. He's not pulling in the hype like facing off against Thanos did. Not. And maybe in Secret Wars, we'll see what I said months ago that the MCU needed to do, which was give us a ton of villains that we actually give a fuck about, fighting a team of superheroes, kind of like in the comics that they're naming the movie after. But the problem still remains that the MCU has done a terrible job of building up their villains or sticking to their lore. You know, they're not, the Phase 5 looks like it's going to just continue to help the MCU spiral down the drain like the polished shit that it is. So we'll see. Anyway, that's the first topic I want to touch about. The next thing I want to talk about is a reveal that is near and dear to my heart. And that is the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves trailer. It was released and it looked pretty good. I love Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, I've been playing it since back in the early 90s because yes, I am fucking old. But man, their movies have not been very good. And a friend of mine, Jay, told me about this, and despite my misgivings, I was very like, dude, their movies suck. I don't even want to see the fucking trailer. I watched it and it looked good. I love seeing the black dragon fly overhead and spew this acidic sludge. I love Chris Pine. I think he's great. If he's like a bard or a thief type character, he's fucking great for it. He's very charming. It feels far more like it will actually be a Dungeons and Dragons inspired movie instead of just borrowing the name and being some generic fantasy thing. I'm looking forward to this. The project has been mired in production hell. It's been nearly a decade, because I remember this way back in like 2014, maybe even 2013. But hey, the footage looks good. I will definitely watch it. I'll definitely watch it. As just give me a little bit more, you know, like maybe another teaser or something. Let me see. I honestly, I don't know much as to where the setting is. Is it going to be established in one of their established settings? Is it going to be in Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms? I don't know. Eberron, or is it a completely unique setting? Is it going to be in the Critical Role set? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to it though. I will check that out. And another thing that they did on San Diego Comic-Con was a talk that they had during the Walking Dead panel. Walking Dead. I like zombies. I used to love this show. I love the fucking comic. Comic is great. It's one of the best American comics that's come out in generations. And they talked about the Rick Grimes movie, because they were going to give Rick 3 movies to talk about what happened to him. They're going to split that. They're going to take that. It's going to be reworked into a mini series that will focus on Rick and Michonne. And I like that. I love that a lot. I'm really fucking excited because Michonne is my second favorite character in the comics and in the show, behind my favorite character, who's Negan, both in the comics and the show. I love Negan. I love that she's going to get more time, and that we're going to see, you know, what wrapped up between her and Rick, especially Rick after the bridge explosion, because that's the last time we saw him. And this is a proper way to send off these characters, these iconic pop culture characters. You know, I'm awesome news. I'm stoked about it. I haven't watched a show in a couple years. Started going crazy. I stopped, I think, after The Whisperers. But maybe I'll go back and finish it before the miniseries airs. Actually, no, well, spoiler alert, I saw when a character died in the cemetery. That's all I'll say with The Whisperers, with Alpha and them. But that's the last thing that came out of San Diego Comic-Con. And I need to gather my breath for this, because I'm almost ready to take a fucking sip of water here. Was The Rings of Power. The trailer came out. And I think I said it before. I think I said it before. I will no longer be associating this with The Lord of the Rings. No more. It will not be called The Lord of the Rings of Power when it comes out of my mouth anymore. From now on, it's just The Rings of Power. I will never reference it again under Tolkien's great works. This is garbage. This pathetic attempt to take one of the most legendary pieces of fiction to ever and will ever exist and subvert it to fit our world, our times, to have these hacks sit here and not only pretend that they can improve Tolkien's works, but then to spit in the face of real Tolkien's fans with their garbage writing, the shit casting. They made Sauron look like fucking Eminem, okay? And the atrocious fanfic levels of self-inserts. No. Fuck this show. Fuck this show. The trailer has only confirmed that they ruined Galadriel's character. Yeah, Stephen Colbert, who's a fucking idiot and doesn't know what he's talking about. He said that fucking, what did he say? He said Celebrimbor created the, I think he said that he forged the One Ring. This guy's a fucking dope. Anyway, the first season will probably draw in some numbers. Curiosity will draw in the normies, no doubt. But this doesn't have the staying power. It doesn't. It won't have the writing caliber to draw in the eyeballs. Amazon wants a Game of Thrones of their own. They don't realize that for all of George Martin's flaws, and he has many of them, the man can write dialogue. He weaves great tales, okay? And he wrote a fantastic setting, and people The first 4 seasons were very, very close to the books, extremely close. And people tuned in to see that. You can see where it started to peter out afterwards. Even as early as season 5. I say it all the time. People are like, oh, it only got bad around season 7. No. Game of Thrones has been bad since season 5. Amazon wants their own Game of Thrones. You don't have the writing to do that. Okay? The only thing you're going to have, you'll have your own city full of ashes on $1 billion property that you're going to burn to waste. That's it. Because they've spent $500 million acquiring the property and then another fucking $500 million creating this project, or however much they put. 250, I think it was 250 maybe to buy it. And the marketing, yeah, this is going to be $1 billion gone down the drain. The first season will draw normies, everybody, word of mouth will spread, and it'll fucking tank. But speaking of ashes and properties, the last thing I want to talk about today, I want to talk about a property rising from the ashes, okay? From the ashes of the comic book industry, to be exact. And that being the Rippaverse. It's funny, it all goes together. Comic-Con, Rippaverse. And look, I already talked about it a while back. I've told y'all that the immense hype for this promising American comics was there, okay? People are hungry for good stories to be told, okay? It's why manga has dominated so much over here. It's not like manga is just killing it in Japan. It's destroying American comics. I mean destroying it in terms of sales. When I say destroying, I don't mean like, oh, manga's coming in here and ruining any. No. If anything, thank God that manga is coming and being so much more of a spotlight that people know more of it now, because it's showing people, it's like, oh, wow, look at this amazing writing. Look at this artwork. Look at these characters. And they look at American comics like DC's garbage and they're like, fuck this. I want to read about Demon Slayer. I want to read about these shows. So I want to read about One Piece. Maybe not One Piece because you'll be there for 17 years trying to catch up. But if you're ready for a fucking series, read One Piece or watch One Piece like I do. And I'm so happy that manga has come here. But there are people who want American comics. They want to see some more of the kind of storylines that we would have here. And comics are not a dead medium. Clearly it's not a dead medium because manga are just Japanese comics. It's just that the big two are garbage companies that are too busy being run by these ideologues instead of worrying about what their fans want to read. And the success of the Rippaverse is a huge, huge slap in the face of the big two, because as of today, as of recording, it has already grossed $3 million. 3 million, I think 3,200,000 or something like that was the last thing I saw. And the thing is, this isn't a crowd-funded project by Eric. He has already shown that the issues are done. They're printed. They're just working on the logistics of the shipping and everything. So good on Eric July. First off, fucking kudos on him putting his money where his mouth is and creating content for people like me that we're like, damn, I want to read something good. Thank goodness. And there are so many others that's why this has been such a successful project. But of course, success like this will only breed saltiness. The big two and the shills who conspire with them, that they don't want to see these projects. They don't want to see projects like Eric July's Rippaverse succeed. It infuriates them to see a comic book creator talk about the fact that they are going to put their customers' entertainment first and not be beholden to the message. That they are not going to shove down the reader's throats their own politics. They hate this. They think you owe them your dollar. That's the worst thing about it, is that these companies think you owe them your hard-earned money. Whether they put out garbage or not, you need to fucking buy it. Because they will sit there, put this trash line out, right? And then tell you, if you don't like it, don't buy my comics. Okay? When nobody buys the comics, then they're like, why didn't you buy my comics? You're a piece of shit if you didn't buy my comics. Dude, fuck off, okay? It's why people like Rich Johnston from fucking Bleeding Cool and others have taken to attacking Rippaverse. Haters are gonna hate, okay? Haters are gonna hate, and Eric July has made videos actually called Monetize Your Haters. So he was ready for this kind of backlash. And I cannot wait to see the continued success of the Rippaverse in spite of the hate from other companies such as Black Sands Entertainment, Because the problem is they're viewing young Rippa as competition. Don't, because he's going to crush you. Don't. Look at it instead as his massive success is going to help shine a spotlight back on American comics. And the worst thing is even PayPal is stepping into this. Because according to Eric himself, PayPal has frozen over $1 million worth of funds, refusing him access. This is what I don't understand, okay? This is why I don't understand with companies like PayPal or GoFundMe. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you, PayPal, to try and tell people how to spend their money? Look, I tell you not to watch a movie, right? I tell you, dude, don't watch this movie, it's trash. Trust me, don't watch this movie. There's a big difference from me telling you, hey, this movie's garbage, to me coming over to your home, grabbing your wallet, and be like, oh, hell no. No, you're not watching that movie. I take your wallet. I'm like, you're not watching this movie. I'll decide for you with your own money what movie you can watch. It's their money. I may not agree with the choice of you spending your money watching it on, say, Thor or buying a Miss Marvel figure or something like that, but it's your choice. I tried to tell you my opinion. I tried to maybe give you a different view on it, but it's your choice at the end of the day. It's your choice. It's your money. You busted your ass for it, okay? If you want to spend it, spend it. PayPal is denying the people their choice of how to spend their money. And this is why we need parallel forms of these financial institutions who think that they are the ultimate arbiters of how people spend their own money. It's fucking mind-boggling. As a recording, I don't know if the situation's been resolved. I'm not sure. I don't think it has been. I really don't. And it just strikes me as insane to think that PayPal can go and tell comic book fans how they can spend their money. No, we don't like, dude, the fact that the guy, you don't have to agree with his politics. You don't have to agree with his politics. He is making a product and people want that product. They're not saying they endorse his politics. They're not saying they agree with it. They're saying they want that product. They like it. They like the design. They like the idea that there's not going to be politics in the comic. They like that. And PayPal's here telling them, no, we know it's your money, but you're not going to use us to go through it. Like, fuck off. This is why we need parallel forms of these financial institutions that think that they can lord over you how to spend your money. It's insane. It's fucking insane. That's the last thing I wanted to talk about on this video. Let me know what you think. This has been the NYC Geek. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit it right now. Right now. Stop everything. Hit that button. Also, while you're at it, please consider hitting that like, that share button, that freaking bell so you can know when another video goes live. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know. What do you think? Should I keep doing the whole Monday thing? Do a couple topics on one video? You know, tell me if you like that format. It's a little bit easier for me to compile this stuff over the weekend, and then I could put it all on one video. And then, you know, throughout the week, I'll put out something. If something big pops out or another trailer, I'll react to it. But let me know if you guys like this whole Monday idea. Tell me. Leave it down in the comment. Tell me what you think about the other things I discussed. What do you think about the MCU Phase 4, Phase 5? Phase 4 is coming to an end, but still there. Phase 5 and the Phase 6 prospects. What do you think of The Walking Dead? Well, no. Stop myself. The Rings of Power. What do you think of the Rings of Power trailer? The costumes look nice. The settings look nice. Nothing else, but at least that. And tell me what else did you think about the other things that we discussed. Oh, and the Dungeons and Dragons trailer. Tell me if you are hyped about that. If you guys like Dungeons and Dragons, tell me about it. Let me know. I try my best to respond to every single comment. And if you haven't already, please make sure to follow me over on twitch.tv/TheNYCGeek where I stream regularly on Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That means I'll be streaming tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. As well as follow me on that filthy cesspool that is Twitter. Remember always, your time is precious. It is. And I thank you for sharing it with me. Stay safe, take care of each other, and I'll see you guys next time.